Have you ever had one of those days, just one of those days, or maybe several of those days, in which you are so frustrated and you don't know which way to turn? Well, I've put together some activities for you. And I made two guides, they're in my stand store, of these little activities, just simple little things you can do anywhere, anywhere. And I started off with my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding exercise for you. That's on another video. You want to check that out. And then I thought, let me try another one. Okay. On this particular sheet, I have 3 activities. It will involve a journal. So just grab a notebook or grab your journal. And let's do this together. I'll walk you through it. We can take our time. I'll put on some calming music, and I'd like you to relieve all of that stress. Okay? Let's try this. So, this is called the negative to positive thought flip. So, I thought we'd try this together. Did you get your journal or something to write on? I'd like you to think about that particular situation that happened today or recently that was negative, that really frustrated you and is causing all of this unwanted stress. And write it down. Write it down. I find that when I write down my journal, I release it. Okay? I release it. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. Go ahead and pause me and write this down. Okay? Now that you've written it down, I'd like you to think, in order to turn it into a positive, first of all, I believe that for every situation that happens, there's a good in everything. You have to stop and think, what is the lesson behind this experience? What is the lesson behind it? Let's say that the boss very roughly placed a deadline on you, and you just feel like you're never going to reach it, right? But there's no going back. You need to do that. So it's frustrating you. It's stressing you out. So what is the lesson behind this? Once you accomplish this goal, once you've written it down, you've thought about it, how can you change this into a positive? Well, number one, you're going to learn something from it. You're going to learn that you can do it. That there was the reason why the boss gave it to you, because that boss had confidence in you, right? So what does that do? That strengthens you. That gives you more confidence. So out of that negative, out of that task that the boss gave you, comes a lesson that you've learned, mostly about yourself, knowing that no matter what the boss gives you, you can do this. Whatever your situation is that's negative, you've written it down, and write down the points that can make it a positive. The majority of the time is that you're learning something from it that is strengthening you, all about you. Okay? So go ahead and pause me, and I'll be back to talk about the next activity as you finish that one up. Okay? Got this. So, now you're going to empower yourself. This next activity is called stress triggers. Basically, what this activity is doing is going to help you monitor those points that are stressing you out. You know, for the lack of a better word, what is triggering your stress, right? So I'd like you to take a few minutes, and this is just for practice right now. Normally you do this throughout the day, you know, in your journal when you have the time to write them down. But for right now, for practice, I'd like you to write down 5 things that trigger stress with you. Okay? and you're going to pause me in a minute. I'm just going to explain a little bit more. Those triggers are times that really make your blood boil, or maybe those times that make you feel like, oh, I'm never going to accomplish this, right? And little did you know that these times in your life are adding up, and it's going to reflect on your health. It did with me. It will eventually affect your heart rate. It will eventually eventually affect the way you deal with people. It will eventually, the worst part is going to eventually affect your health. I've lost my hair. I gained weight. I'm trying to heal myself right now from all of that stress. So with you right now, I'd like you to write down 5 stress triggers. Anything from home, from work, from raising a family, from family members. 5 triggers, okay? And then pause me. Okay, so you've written down those 5 triggers, right? With me, I'll give you an example. When I was teaching, because I'm a retired teacher, when I was teaching, my triggers were deadlines. You need to have 160 of these documentations done in 2 or 3 days. Yes. So that was a stress trigger for me, because I'm the type that has to do everything on time or way before. So that just kind of balled up inside of me, right? Another trigger for me was I was earning my PhD at the same time, and I needed to grade, lesson plan, and write. So that was a stress trigger for me. Okay, so just examples. Now, once you've written down these 5 triggers, I'd like you to go back and write down next to them react, the word react, or the word respond. Okay? Now, when this triggers you, did you react and yell and scream and stomp and just, you gave the power to that, whatever it was? Or did you respond by thinking about it and how you're going to handle it this way or that way? In other words, the calm way, the thoughtful way. So you're going to go ahead and pause me, and next to those 5, write down react or respond, and then come back to me. Okay, so now you have your triggers and you have react or respond, right? Now the response are fine. You took your time to address whatever was bothering you, right? Whether, let's say, a significant other needed something right then and there, and you said, okay, give me time and I'll get it done. Same thing with the boss. Not a problem. I'll get it done. Those are fine. How many of those triggers did you react to? Did you scream and holler and stomp and really just bottled up inside of you and didn't know how to react to it, right? So that's how you reacted. What I'd like you to notice with this whole exercise is how many situations you can just calmly respond to them by knowing, by the first exercise, that you're learning from something, right? You're learning from whatever's happening, and it's strengthening you at the same time. Okay? So that's what this activity is all about. What are those stress triggers? We need to empower you to be able to deal with these stress situations. Does that make sense? So when you visually see it, you visually see those things that stressed you out throughout the day, and how did you come about addressing them? Did you react or did you respond? Okay? Now you do this the way you want to. It's all up to you. You want to do this at the end of the day, and how many stress triggers did I have and what did I do about it? Or throughout the day, write them down. Okay. Harry got me so angry that I had to leave the room. I remember one time I was in a meeting. We were having a meeting and we had all our books out and no one would listen to me. I reacted. I slammed the book closed and I walked out. And that was me. Should I have done that? No, I shouldn't have done that. But I was so frustrated. I was so stressed out at the time. So it's up to you. You do this the way you need to de-stress. Okay, that was activity number 2. Let's go back. Let's go to activity number 3. Okay, got this. And so we've arrived at activity number 3. Activity number 3 can be an eye-opener. Okay, so it's called the brain dump. And on your journal, I would like you to write down or to make 3 columns, right? First column, title it urgent. The next column, title it important, title it. And the third column, title it can wait. You know where I'm going with this? So you can do this the way you want to. You can do this throughout the day, or just what comes to mind right now. So you can try to refocus and try to get rid of those stressful triggers, kind of, sort of. So I'd like you to think of all those things that have triggered you, really, and write them in the appropriate column. Of those things that really bother you, are they really urgent? Are they important? Or can they wait? So in my case, like I told you, the documentations that need to be done in 2 or 3 days. Well, those were urgent. So I would write it there, right? Let's say my daughter calling and she needs me to bring her something from the house, right? It could be important. It depends on how soon she needs it. I don't think it's urgent. If not, she would have come to get it herself, right? So I would put that under important. I'll get to it when I can. And those things that you thought were bothering you and they really had no reason to bother you, you put them under can wait, and you'll get to them when you can, right? So it all depends on what's happening with you, and it all depends on how you're reacting and responding to everything, right? And altogether, what I'd like you to do with these 3 columns is really, now you're itemizing and focusing on those things that are they really that important to be bothering you, to be stressing you out right now, right? So with this activity, it's just practically a connection to the last activity, right? So you wrote down those stress triggers, yes, but now you're categorizing them. Are they urgent? Are they important? Or can they wait altogether, right? And you will learn that the majority of these stressors can wait. They're really not that important to where they should be bothering your health, your mental status at the time, and you're finding a way throughout these 3 activities to refocus, right? Just to refocus and find that peace and calm within you. Now, these activities, along with other activities that I've compiled together, are in my Stand store, so feel free to go check it out. I have two guides there. There's 10 activities in each. Actually, there's more because some of the activities have several pages to them. So there's actually more in there. And these are activities that really, really help you. Now, the majority of the time we're in a situation that is very stressful. And we're just saying, well, when I finish, I'll be better. It doesn't always happen. I retired, and that stressful situation is no longer there, but something else took over, right? I earned my PhD, I said, once I finish that, then I won't be as stressed anymore. Well, something else took over, right? And so now I've found myself writing these 3 categories down and trying to decipher what really is there that should bother me or not. Am I reacting or am I responding? Right? And so I hope these 3 activities kind of bring you to that calmness in your life. And those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. And again, those of you that have come back, thank you for coming back. Please feel free to subscribe and share, and then I will share some more with you. So I thought I'd walk you through some of these activities, but go ahead of me and go ahead and look at my stand store, and I'll be back. This is Dr. Roseanne Gonzalez with Superpower Self-Care. It's been awesome being here with you, and I'll catch you on the next one. You know why? Because you are amazing. See you later. Bye now.